None of the people that have been mentioned on those files has received any sort of fucking like trial at all. None of the people in the fucking list has been fucking tried or subpoenaed. But we're going after 90-plus-year-old dudes, and we're fucking going after Twitch streamers for giving humanitarian aid to Cuba. But yeah, they're pretty much they're going after a fucking Twitch streamer right now. The fucking federal government, this administration is going harder for a fucking Twitch streamer than they are for the people in the Epstein documents, which is crazy. Wow, what, promoting fucking extremist movements and political violence by going to give humanitarian aid to starving Cubans. Wow, ridiculous. So I wanted to watch this here by Jabri, because this is also, he'll also talk about this here. They're treating it like a snake, where they think if they cut off Hasan, they'll cut off all progressives, but they will actually likely experience more of a Hydra, where 5 more progressive influencers pop up. No, exactly. Like that's the thing. It's gonna fucking backfire on them. Like, we've seen how it's backfired lately as in terms of the media. Like, the media has been pumping out so many fucking articles and stories on TV about Hasan Piker, Newsmax and Fox News being the main culprits of this bullshit, because I've seen it at one of my gyms. Keep promoting Hasan Piker, but what has that done? Has that silenced him? That's gotten more eyes on him. But yeah, this fucking thing here where they're trying to like scare Hasan Piker and scare all these, like, you know, activists from like speaking out against this fascist movement by, you know, having anti-American values. It's ridiculous, because you're not going to silence these voices. Like, there's going to be other creators out there that are going to step in if they do decide to silence Hasan, you know. Like, I joked around and said, yeah, you know, I'm going to carry the flame, you know, we'll fight for the gospel. But I'm being serious, you know. I'm not going to fucking shut up about it, you know. Like, I'm going to keep talking about politics. I'm going to talk about it, you know. I'm going to talk about all of this fascist, you know, bullshit that's been happening in this country. You know, I'm small enough right now where they don't give a shit about me, but, you know, who's to say later down the line I, you know, get more eyes on me because of them cutting off Hasan Piker. There's other creators out there that are progressive and have disdain for this administration, whether they like it or not. You know, maybe they don't see them as Marxist, Leninist, maybe they don't see these creators as fucking anti-fascist because they don't promote themselves as being leftist, but there's creators out there that are speaking out against this administration. You know, very few, but there is creators out there. So I think your analogy of a Hydra is perfectly said there. So yeah, if you're looking for more fucking progressive content creators and streamers, drop a follow right here. I'm saying, you know. But yeah, let's look at this Jabri video here. I'll watch it with you guys.
It happened. At long last, the federal government has finally freed itself of all distractions so that they may now begin focusing on the most important issues of the day, going after Twitch streamers.
Bro, I'm over here doing...
What the fuck is that picture, bro? Yeah, bro, this is who the fucking federal government is going after, by the way. Wow.
Bro, I'm over here doing election analysis, and this guy goes, fart of the year, please watch.
I mean, clearly the guy belongs on the FBI's most wanted list. Not for anything he said, I just think it's high time we see some legal repercussion of an outfit, or this one, or this one, or this one. If you follow American politics at all, you've probably...
Hasan's real crime is having a small head. Yeah. For real. Like, bro, tiny ass.
Some point or another, heard of leftist streamer Hasan Piker. After all, he spent a good deal of time in the headlines this year, becoming especially popular among the highly reputable brain trust that exists over at Fox News.
Hasan Piker.
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 Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker.
This is what I was talking about with you guys. Look how many fucking stories there are, dude.
Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker.
Look at how much fucking coverage. This is going to create a Streisand effect by doing this. Like, okay, Ollie, by the way, Fox News. God damn, dude. Who talks about Hasan Piker more now? Ethan Klein or Fox? Because Jesus Christ, dude, look at all this fucking coverage. Yeah, you're doing a real nice job fucking silencing him by talking just exclusively about him.
That was all in the span of 25 days, by the way. Whatever you may personally think of Hasan, though, is irrelevant to what we're going to be talking about in this video. Because if you consider yourself left-wing in any way, if you oppose this administration and all the evil it espouses, then it makes sense for you to oppose the federal government issuing a subpoena to anyone for the crime of, let's see, delivering humanitarian aid to the disenfranchised people of Cuba. And don't forget, there have been
Free speech, by the way. I love the First Amendment. Only when it fucking benefits and agrees with me.
and 0 new investigations opened up into any one of Jeffrey Epstein's many associates. According to this crooked DOJ, they don't even exist. While other countries, including the United Kingdom, have actually taken steps to...
Oh my gosh. I think I've said this before. The UK, it fucking hurts me to say this as an American. They are fucking mogging us right now. The fact that they're actually taking action against people on the fucking Epstein list and we're not. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Fuck.
Arrest members of their Epstein elites. Our idiot government can't do any of that because they're apparently too busy going after content creators. As, of course, Fox News was thrilled to report Saturday night, federal officials have served subpoenas to Marxist political influencer Hasan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin as part of a wider investigation into whether U.S. organizations and leaders violated U.S. laws and sanctions in supporting Cuba's communist regime.
Ridiculous.
Piker and Benjamin are among those caught in a federal inquiry into whether activists who traveled to Cuba in March violated U.S. sanctions laws through the financing, coordination.
The thing that's funny about this is that they got approved by these same people that are going after them too. Like OFEC and all these people are like, they're like the same people that fucking approved this fucking travel. Like, it's ridiculous.
Or delivery of goods to Cuba, including potential contacts with Cuban government personnel or entities on the island. The administrative subpoenas were sent to the pair by the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. Though at the time of me recording this, both Piker and Benjamin maintain that they have yet to actually receive a subpoena, so that doesn't mean there isn't one on the way.
Any chance that that unhinged Fox News author made it up? Probably not. But again, I don't know because I haven't received a fucking subpoena, so I have no idea. I don't know. So there is that side of the story as well.
But they continue. The administrative subpoenas, called Requests for Information, or RFI, seek financial, logistical, and communications information revolving around trips the two widely bragged about making to the island nation in March with delegations of the Nuestra America Convoy, or Our America Convoy, from a global network of communist sympathizers, activists, and influencers who brought supplies to the country's ruling Communist Party of Cuba. Keep in mind also that this comes just days after the DOJ indicted, of all people, the 94-year-old former president of Cuba, Raul Castro.
How do they have the energy to do this, by the way? Like, indict a fucking 90-plus-year-old man, but can't go after the people on the Epstein list, dude. Even though this administration went fucking hog wild about, oh, we're gonna release the Epstein files and we're gonna fucking go after every single one of those criminals. And then they fucking get into office, bring all the people that could make that happen. And nope, no mention of the Epstein files, or if they mention it or drop it, it's redacted. None of the people that have been mentioned on those files has received any sort of fucking like trial at all. None of the people in the fucking list has been fucking tried or subpoenaed. But we're going after 90-plus-year-old dudes, and we're fucking going after Twitch streamers for giving humanitarian aid to Cuba. Wow, dude. Meanwhile, the UK is actually, actually fucking dealing with their sex criminals on that fucking Epstein list. We're going after a fucking Twitch streamer. Masterful fucking gambit, dude. Masterful fucking gambit.
In a bizarre move that I don't think anyone sees any real value in, gas prices are still through the roof, nobody can afford anything. But sure, let's spend our time going after a bedridden old man in another country. Why not? After all, it does seem more and more likely by the day that our government is preparing for some kind of military action against the small island, with the typical war hawks clamoring for blood as per usual. I believe the liberation of the wonderful people of Cuba from the clutches of communism is close at hand. Yeah, just
Oh my fucking god. Lindsey Graham is such a fucking idiot, dude. Oh my. Yeah. Gas is like $4, $5 in other states. we're fucking dealing with the most high inflation that we fucking had in so long. Homes have been at the highest historical rates of unaffordable. What are we fucking doing? Trying to start another conflict abroad. Yeah. This is amazing. I'm sure going into Cuba with our armed forces is going to help bring down the cost of fucking gas prices and shit. Lovely.
Just like we liberated the people of Venezuela and Iran by fucking killing them, right, Lindsay? Life in those countries is sure better now thanks to our kind and selfless liberation, isn't it? The investigation is part of a broader effort by officials at Treasury, State, and Justice Departments to curb malign foreign influence operations inside the United States, particularly activities tied to support for political violence, extremist movements, or acts the US government classifies as terrorism. Okay, so it's terrorism now to care about those who have been ceaselessly punished by our country for the crime of living in a country we deem an enemy. Got it.
Yeah, that we've sanctioned for fucking decades and starved for years. That is who we're going after. Apparently feeding all these people that are going hungry because we have imposed so many fucking sanctions and strangled these people, not allowing fucking oil to come into this country, starving. By having people like Hasan and Code Pink going over there and delivering humanitarian aid. That's terrorism. Wow. Crazy. You know what's so fucking crazy? If that's terrorism, I wonder what going into a fucking foreign country, kidnapping their fucking leader is. I wonder what that is. Or going over and I wonder what going and aiding and abiding with fucking bombing a fucking elementary school in the Middle East. I wonder what that is. I wonder what that would be considered. Or our fucking president. I wonder what our sitting president posting on his social media about exterminating and ending an entire civilization in the Middle East. I wonder what that will be considered. I wonder what that's being considered as. God, if this is considered terrorism, I wonder what that's considered. Okay, but have you thought about how much money it's going to make the military contractors? Yeah, I guess I should take in mind how much money they're going to make and how much money fucking BlackRock and Raytheon are going to make by this. Yeah, I'm so sorry for all the Raytheon and BlackRock investors and supporters out there. My bad. I didn't take consideration into you guys.
It's extremist to want those people to have food and energy, but it's not extremist for our government to deprive said people of basic necessities. Makes total sense, really. The scrutiny reflects growing concern among federal
Bro, and the thing that's so sad is not only have we sanctioned and fucking strangled this nation, we've also exploited the shit out of it since the fucking early 1920s. We've exploited their workers, we exploited their island for years. Look at Cuban history and U.S. history involved with Cuba. Just saying, just go on and do your own research and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. But, that's not considered terrorism, no.
Authorities and lawmakers over whether foreign actors and aligned organizations are attempting to shape American political discourse, activists, sow discord, and normalize rhetoric that could encourage violence or undermine U.S. national security interests. The investigation by the Office of Foreign Assets Control is part of a broader dragnet that includes as many as 40 American citizens who joined foreign nationals who are a part of a global network of anti-U.S. Marxists, communists, and socialists. Additional subpoenas are expected. Because if the feds get their way here, it won't just be Hasan Piker that they target. It's clear they're testing the waters right now to see what all they might be able to get away with later on down the road, which is why their attempts should be called out now before.
This is what I'm saying. I think there should be more people talking about how this is fucking ridiculous. Instead, we have people on both sides, Republicans, Democrats, you have libs that are fucking celebrating the fact that Hasan Piker is going to getting subpoenaed. They're celebrating Hasan Piker is getting subpoenaed, actively trying to get silenced. Like, if you're over here, even as like a liberal, hardcore liberal, blue MAGA, you fucking hate Donald Trump. We hate Donald Trump. You celebrating the fact that Hasan Piker, somebody you strongly disagree with for some bullshit reason, you celebrating the fact that he's getting silenced by this fascist administration, you don't think that's a fucking problem? They're testing the fucking waters and setting a dangerous precedent. So if they fucking silence him, they're going to come after you and I in the future. I'm probably first because I'm somebody that agrees more with Hasan than blue MAGA liberals. But you know, they're eventually any sort of speech that they deem as hate speech, any sort of fucking anti-Trump sentiment that you have, they can come after you if they set this president. I just don't get why people are celebrating it, you know? I mean, I get why fucking, you know, people like Asmongold and Tectone would fucking celebrate this dumbass shit, or like why Republicans will celebrate it, but it's ridiculous because if you are for real somebody that hates this administration, if you don't like Donald Trump, why the fuck would you be celebrating that?
They turn the heat up even further. Fox continues, the administrative subpoenas mark a serious escalation by the Trump administration against a far-left nonprofit activist network that has spent years defending communist regimes from Cuba to China, while presenting its work as humanitarian aid, anti-war organizing, and solidarity with people oppressed by the imperialist U.S. colonial power. Amazing and deliberate use of quotation marks there. Anyone acting like the people of Cuba haven't been oppressed by the United States for generations is either being disingenuous or doesn't know their history and is
Boom, that's what I just said. Boom. Like, you don't, if you really think that the US has their best interest in going into Cuba, especially bringing military forces into Cuba, you really think they give a shit about the Cuban people? Did they give a shit about the Middle East? All, you know, did they give a shit about Iraq? Did they give a shit about the Afghanis in Afghanistan? Did they give a shit about Venezuela? Or, you know, look at Venezuela right now. How are they doing? You think they give a shit about Cuba and their people? Like, read up on your history. I really do. Because low key, with the way this administration and the way this country is going with trying to cripple the Department of Education, it's really fucking scary. So really, like, if you haven't read up on your history and your U.S. history, not really U.S. history, read into like U.S. foreign affairs. Read into how the U.S. has, how many, you know, countries the U.S. has been involved with, especially right now with this topic. Read into Cuban history and U.S. involvement in Cuba. Because if you really think the U.S. has their best interest in Cuba and the Cuban people, I have a fucking pyramid scheme to sell you on, pal. Like, come on.
Blind to what's happening right now. Could be all of those things, though. As reported by CNN just the other day, a U.S. outlet that has no interest in defending the government of Cuba, almost 3 months after the U.S. effectively imposed an oil blockade on Cuba that worsened its energy crunch, nearly every aspect of Cuban society has been feeling the strain.
Yeah, and they have killed people in the process by, you know, blocking the oil, you know, the oil from coming into the country, because a lot of their oil is needed for energy, for a lot of, you know, for electricity in the Cuban island, and a lot of the power grid is going down because of the lack of oil that they need to power the electricity in Cuba. So a lot of people in like hospitals and stuff that, you know, rely on, you know, the oil to come in for the energy to be supplied on medical life-saving equipment have died because of these actions and of this blockade. That's not terrorism, though. But going in and fucking delivering humanitarian aid to starving people in Cuba, oh, that's terrorism. Oh my fuck.
Trash has been piling up on the streets of the capital. Hospital stays and surgeries are being limited. People are using wood fires to heat water, and blackouts have become commonplace. Since the 1960s, the US has maintained an economic embargo on Cuba that has cost the island trillions of dollars and impacted its overall human development.
Exactly. But no, what you'll hear from a lot of people, especially Miami Cubans, is communism did that. Communism did all of this. Oh no, communism's so bad they did this. But, you know, clearly leave this out or ignore it.
According to a United Nations report, despite calls from many nations to lift the penalties, the U.S. has recently ratcheted up pressure on the communist-run island. They report that the U.S. effectively cut off Cuba's supply of oil back in January when we liberated the people of Venezuela by kidnapping their leader and forcing its acting government to halt shipments of oil, with Cuba then losing Mexico as an oil provider when the U.S. threatened them with tariffs. What we are witnessing is a very deliberate attempt to make life in Cuba as miserable as possible for average citizens. That's the effect anyway. The lack of oil, which Cuba uses to power vehicles and generate electricity, has exacerbated the country's long-running energy crisis. Power outages have become frequent, with power plants lacking sufficient fuel to operate. The shortage is also affecting water supply supply, according to the president of the National Institute of Hydraulic Resources. CNN reports that beyond water and power, the fuel shortage is straining other essential services, including education, transportation, and medicine. Cuba's president has said that tens of thousands of people are waiting for an operation that can't be carried out due to a lack of electricity. Public transportation has been reduced, resulting in
It's so fucking inhumane what we're doing. It's so fucking inhumane, but is it fucking new for the US to do this shit? No. I mean, I told you guys to read up on Cuban history, but look at American involvement in Latin America. It's nothing new that we haven't done. You know.
Long lines at stations and overcrowded buses. Human Rights Watch warns that the lack of electricity is affecting virtually every aspect of daily life. As the organization's Americas director said, the humanitarian situation in Cuba was already extremely fragile, but the electricity crisis is pushing many essential services to the limit. People don't have reliable access to drinking water, hospitals can't operate safely, basic goods are becoming increasingly difficult to obtain, and garbage is piling up on the streets. And so when people do go over there with an attempt to deliver aid and hopefully maybe mitigate a fraction of the pain being felt throughout the island, this demonic administration punishes them for it. How successful they'll be in carrying out their plans remains to be seen, but the fact that they're trying certainly isn't great. Another part of the Fox News article states that according to public statements, it's believed that delegation members stayed at a hotel the US State Department has put on a Cuba restricted list as businesses directly tied to the communist government of Cuba, designated a state sponsor of terrorism. Ryan Grimm, a reporter who also attended the aid mission to Cuba, responded to this claim on Twitter by writing, "We stayed at a legal hotel. This whole thing seems to stem from an erroneous viral tweet. Know who did actually stay at a sanctuary?"
That's crazy. If this all stemmed from a tweet, dude, oh my gosh, this administration is so fucking cooked. It's not surprising. But if it stemmed from a fucking tweet, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, no. That is ridiculous. Another thing I want to point out, too, with this whole situation with them, trying to label these guys as active threats to the United States interest in, like, Cuba and stuff. Look at the parallels of this and, like, people trying to, like, bring flotillas into Palestine, you know? It's easy to connect the dots there.
Hotel Nick Shirley. We know because he broadcast from it and told everyone he stayed there.
That's crazy. Yeah. Nick Shirley did stay at a hotel that is, what is it over here? Yeah.
Erroneous viral tweet.
Okay,
Know who did actually stay at a sanctioned hotel? Nick Shirley. We know because he broadcast from it and told everyone he stayed there. You guys know.
Yeah, this fucking illiterate piece of shit did stay at a sanctioned hotel in Cuba. Instead of going after this guy, though, that clearly broke those fucking laws, which is bullshit, by the way. I think you should stay at whatever fucking hotel you please. But I digress. The fact that this fucking asshole's not getting investigated, but, Code Pink and Hasan Piker and Ryan Grimm are out there getting investigated for, supporting the Cuban government by staying at a sanctioned hotel, which, newsflash, they didn't, is absolutely fucking absurd. Oh my gosh, this guy did, though. This guy fucking outed himself. This guy exposed himself, literally committing a crime in the US's eyes. Yet they're not going after this illiterate fuck. They're going after the fucking people that are like showing how we've strangled the Cuban island.
No, Nick Shirley, right? MAGA's new favorite illiterate who gained immense prominence for
I just said the same fucking shit about him too. Yeah.
Exposing.
God, if I was known for being illiterate, dude, I think I would just retire from social media and influencing, dude. If I was called illiterate, dude, I'd pack it up.
Somalian fraud in Minneapolis, prompting the president to send more ICE agents into the city, which culminated in the assassinations of 2 American citizens. The Nick Shirley who took credit for the chaos that ensued after Renee Good's execution. Yeah, that's who Ryan's referring to here.
So Nick Shirley, the right-wing influencer, says that he's being held hostage in a hotel in Cuba. Well, guess what? We found the hotel. It's right here, Hotel Nacional. And it's actually illegal for him to be at this hotel, but not illegal under Cuban law. It's illegal under U.S. law. Let me show you how we know it's a hotel.
Crazy. Where's the investigation for him, though? What the fuck? All
right, if you look at the tweet and the video that he posted, that's the room he's staying in, pretty much, right? Red curtains. This is the Hotel Nacional website. You can pretty much you can't stay in this hotel. legally as a U.S. citizen according to U.S. law. Here it is right here. Cuba prohibited accommodations list. Below is the U.S. Department of State's Cuba prohibited accommodations list, a list of properties in Cuba at which the Cuban assets control regulations generally prohibit persons subject to U.S. jurisdiction from lodging, paying for lodging, or making any reservation for or on behalf of a third party to lodge.
Though to be fair to Nick, I'm not sure how he would know his hotel was on the sanctions list, considering that he doesn't know how to read or speak beyond a third grade level.
Who do you think are the three most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Just well-intentioned, positive billionaires who you think are creating, you know, net positive societal progress.
Trump?
Yo. Hold on. I think I had my books over here. Hold on. I want to do something real quick. Did I move them? Oh yeah, I do. Okay. I got something. I got the Nick Shirley repellent here. If you ever encounter Nick Shirley or any Nick Shirley supporter out there in the wild, there's one method that you can do to repel them, to stay away from you. Ready? Ooh. Look at this, books. Scary books. Ah, boo, scary. Look it. That's how you fucking repel these guys. Oh my god. This guy right here especially. This guy right here. Boom. This guy right here. There you go. God. That's how you fucking scare these guys. Zoinks. But it's so fucking pathetic though. They're not investigating him for staying at a sanctioned hotel.
Because he's on the right. He can do whatever he wants. Whether it's staying in the wrong hotels in Cuba or palling around with former neighbors of Jeffrey Epstein, who cares? The possibilities are endless as long as you aren't questioning the president's agenda. Otherwise, you may just become enemy number one, as Stephen Colbert is well aware of, with Donald Trump dropping the mask the other night and taking a victory lap of getting his show taken off the air by posting this AI video of him throwing Colbert in a dumpster. So just openly bragging about government censorship then. Awesome.
Yeah,
I guess they aren't
crazy.
trying to hide that they're the least free speech administration in American history. They're proud of that fact. This also comes not long after a bullshit resolution was proposed in the House of Representatives to condemn.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this shit. Oh yeah, Piker has expressed support for Hamas on multiple occasions and claims Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel. I mean, is he fucking wrong though? But like the fact that they were doing this, bro, introduced resolution into the U.S. House to condemn Hasan Piker for anti-Semitism, bro. Oh my god, it's so fucking pathetic. God damn, dude.
Hasan Piker's supposed anti-Semitism. Although anyone with a functioning brainstem knows that anti-Semitism, in the context of condemning Hasan anyway, is just a stand-in for anti-Zionism. They introduced this resolution because he's an ardent critic of Israel, okay, that's it. If the performative representatives who brought this resolution forward cared about hate speech or whatever, they would have censured their grotesque ogre of a colleague, Randy Fine, ages ago. A congressman out of Florida who said that Muslims should be destroyed, compared them to dogs, and has advocated for the nuking of civilians living in Gaza. And
Jesus, dude, I did not see this before. Holy fuck.
Randy Fine isn't just some influencer. He wields actual influence as an elected member of the House of Representatives. No attempt by Congress to condemn him, though. Absolute crickets there. Imagine if instead of condemning random private citizens, our politicians were invested in actually bettering the lives of everyday Americans, which would, be doing their jobs. What about giving people health care? What about fixing the potholes or paying teachers or addressing homelessness? Nope, nothing. We're just gonna sit around and cry about something a guy on Twitch said? Okay. Hard to imagine then why Congress has an approval rating of 10%. How can anyone expect real legislation to pass? Legislation that could actually help the working class when our politicians are wasting time going after content creators.
Yeah, crazy. Also, note here, it is wasting taxpayer money too. We had fucking Doge last year, so worried about fucking fraud and where the money is going and all that, fraud, waste, and abuse, all that bullshit. Meanwhile, shit like this ridiculous stuff like subpoenaing, throwing a subpoena to Hasan Piker and Code Pink, this is going to cost taxpayer money. It's fucking pathetic.
that most of the country hasn't even heard of. It's performative, it's repressive, it's a way for them to clamp down and intimidate critics of Israel, and it gives them a reason to ignore whatever legitimate grievances people may have. Because like I said, don't think for a second that these...
Also, I think it's really fucking weird to be out there and taking pictures of someone like this, you know. They can try to say, oh, he's a public figure. My brother in Christ, you sat outside his fucking house, waited hours, and stalked him to take a picture of him. That is the weirdest shit. That is so fucking weird. Such weird behavior to do. I mean, we've seen it with Laura Loomer. She did the same shit like a month ago or so, but it is fucking weird. You like, even if you don't like Hasan Piker or don't like any of, like, you know, any of the things he has said, you don't think this is weird? You don't think them camping outside his house, taking pictures of him without him knowing, or what Laura Loomer is doing, is weird? You don't think that's fucking weird and disgusting?
Ghouls intend to stop here. They're already trying to repress the people of this country by redrawing a number of key congressional maps to increase the number of Republicans in the House and limit the representation of minorities in government. They've been hinting at ICE agents being deployed to voting stations this November, and the president himself has hardly been shy about remaining in office beyond 2028.
Come on, when's the first one coming? They said in 28. I said, I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32 too. I don't know. Maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe he will. Who fucking knows anymore, man? Laws haven't mattered for a while now, have they? I should also mention before we go that the whiniest man on the planet, the most embarrassing piece of walking garbage, the most egregious waste of air anyone has ever seen, Elon.
Damn. Holy fuck, dude. Damn, chill. No, actually, no. Fuck this guy. That's
Musk has been crying about Hasan Piker for months now. Despite being the richest man in history, he apparently doesn't have anything better to do than to keep up with the world of Twitch, I guess. Well, on Saturday, one of his baby mamas and former conservative influencer
this was peak. Did y'all see this?
Ashley St. Clair appeared on Hasan's stream to gift him a very noteworthy sweatshirt.
What is this?
This is a hoodie.
Oh my gosh.
You got me a hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down here. Oh God, what's gonna be in this?
Bro, okay. Bro, if one of my fucking baby mamas went on Hasan Piker stream and did this right here and gifted him this sweater here that you're about to see.
I'm not even gonna see it first.
Giggling, by the way, giggling. And gifted him this fucking sweater right here. I'm not the dad. I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up. Yeah, I think I'm fucking calling it quits. Like, oh my gosh.
I've been
Brother, at what point do you just say, you know what? Maybe it's best I'm not here anymore. It's crazy.
I have Benjamin Netanyahu to get his Twitter account banned.
Yeah, there is no way Elon didn't see that. And look, yeah, I'm not saying Elon made a boss call or anything. This subpoena would have had to be in the works for a while now, of course, but the timing is fucking wild, you gotta admit. I don't know where we go from here, but the message is clear. Criticize this admin, or even worse, dare to travel to another country and deliver aid to the wrong people, and you may just get caught up in a dragnet by this crooked, repressive, fascist band of thugs currently occupying our federal government. It again has nothing to do with what you think of Hasan personally. It doesn't matter if you find Stephen Colbert funny or not. I don't care about any of that. What matters here is the egregious political persecution unfolding in front of us right.
That's the one thing I'm like that everyone should harp on. It's like, yeah, you can disagree with these guys, and yet, you know, you should find this shit very fucking stupid. You should find this shit very, very weird, very disgusting, and very alarming. Like, if, you know, they're out there silencing voices that don't like this administration, you know, like, you got to think critically here. I mean, which is, I know with a lot of people on the right, it's very fucking hard to think critically, but come on, let's use our fucking brain for once. This administration, or any administration, going out there silencing people who have dissenting opinions, that should fucking alarm you. Like, hey, that is not free speech. That's censorship. You know, if you claim the love free speech and the First Amendment, you would find this shit deplorable. Just saying.
Now, if a fucking Twitch streamer can become an active target of the government, then what's stopping them from coming for you too? What's important?
Oh yeah, no, if they, you know, at the rate they're keeping this shit on, you know, like, I am somebody that's been talking, you know, against this administration I've been talking about this against this administration for years, even before I started talking to you guys on Twitch. But now that I'm, making content, now that I'm streaming it, it's out there, and I haven't publicly hit it, and so, they're going after him right now. They're going after Code Pink, Colbert, we're next on the chopping board. If this is set, if this president is set, like if they actually go out and do this, they're going to start going after anyone that starts doing it, me included, because I'm out here not shy about my politics, not shy about my anti-fascist opinions, and as a Latino, like that makes it even more scary for me because, they can also fucking threaten with ICE agents, which by the way, if this administration wants to fucking scare me with ICE agents, bitch, I was born and raised in the Midwest. I am more American than half of your fucking agents out there, by the way. I'm more American than the fucking first lady, for sure. Born and raised in the Midwest. So, I'm a fucking citizen here.
Is that we show up for each other as much as possible, that we organize, that we don't let any of this discourage us from doing and saying what's right. Because at the end of all of this, I still hold out hope that this piece of shit thug and the rest of its bloodthirsty cronies will go down in history as nothing more than an embarrassing blot on America's legacy. They will be seen as a mere footnote of what this country could be at its worst. We will move past it and they will lose. History will absolve those who oppose them. That's at least the only way I know
hopefully
how to end this video on a positive note. And that's about all I got.
But yeah, at the end, like the thesis of all of this is censorship at its best. This is fascism working at its best. Silencing opposing dissenting voices. And if you're out there celebrating the fact that Hasan Piker is getting subpoenaed and he's getting silenced by this administration because you disagree with him, don't like him, you are just as pathetic as the fucking supporters of this, by the way, because you are out there actively cheering for fascist policies and fascist censorship. Okay. So it's ridiculous. You can disagree with these people. You can disagree with Hasan, with Stephen Colbert. You can disagree with these people. But but come on, you gotta fucking realize that this shit is fucking asinine, okay? Like, I'm fucking nervous about this, because I actively talk against, I actively, talk about this fascist administration. I talk about, the fucking Israelis committing genocide in Palestine all the time. And that is stuff that they're considering, rightfully as, extremist movements and in terror, and terrorism. So yeah, just saying, if you guys agreed with what I said here or like the video, please like and subscribe, share it around. I'm trying to grow as another political content creator, leftist content creator. I'm a Latino too. So if you guys can do me a favor and please drop a sub and tell all your homies a sub, that would mean the world to me. So yeah, let's get some more Hasan Pikers out there because they're trying to silence Hasan Piker. We need more people to carry the flame, and I'll volunteer to do it. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, hold up. I think I hear something like a little RC or drone. Guys, I think I see a drone. Is that a drone? I think that's an IDF drone.